Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. Okay, let's talk about the messy reality of tech right now. It's a world of brilliant ideas where progress is moving so fast, it's kind of tripping over its own feet. First up, we're going to get our hands on the thinnest iPhone ever made. Then we'll get into this new workplace curse. They're calling it work slop. We're also going to unpack a deal so huge, it's literally reshaping the future of AI. And you're definitely going to want to stick around for a new FBI warning. Phew, it's a lot, so let's just dive right in. All right, let's start with that messy reality. And it's something that's literally right in our hands. Apple just dropped a new device, and really, it's all about one thing: design. People are calling it the sexiest iPhone ever, and yeah, you can kind of see why. I mean, Apple really went all in on making a phone that just feels impossibly futuristic. And that's the first thing everyone says when they hold it. It's not just about specs, it's a physical experience. You know, you pick it up, and your brain just can't quite compute how all that tech can feel this light. And there's always a but, right? Here's the messy part of that gorgeous design. To get that shockingly thin body, Apple had to make some pretty big compromises. The battery life? People are saying it's just okay, which is a huge step down from the Pro models. And you only get one camera on the back. So what's the deal here? You're basically paying a premium for the feel of the phone while giving up some really core features. It's the classic form over function dilemma. Okay, so from the hardware in our hands, let's pivot to the software that's basically rewiring our brains. Because AI's promise, it's turning out to be a very, very sharp double-edged sword. I mean, on one side, the potential is just incredible, right? You've got Notion 3.0 rolling out AI agents that can automate your entire workflow. You've got AI tutors like Anthropic's Claude that offer this amazing one-on-one learning that really pushes you to think. And of course, image generators that can turn a simple sentence into a masterpiece. It feels limitless. But then, you flip that sword over and you get this. A brand new term for a brand new problem: work slop. Yeah, this is what happens when we use AI like a crutch instead of a real collaborator. It's that report that looks all polished and perfect, but it's actually full of holes, and it just creates more work for the humans who have to go back and fix everything. And the cost? It's not just annoying, it's staggering. Get this. Researchers at BetterUp Labs figure that employees are losing almost 2 hours a day dealing with this stuff. 2 hours! For a big company, that adds up to a productivity loss of around $9 million a year. So the very tool that was supposed to save us time is costing us a fortune. And even on the fun, creative side of things, there's a new skill to learn. You know, getting a great image from an AI isn't just magic. It's a craft. You need super detailed prompts, you need a good eye for editing, and now there's this new responsibility. You've got to label your work as AI generated. It's a whole new world. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question, or maybe the trillion-dollar question. These tools are unbelievably powerful, but who's actually setting the rules? And what's really fascinating is that this is now a global conversation. Over at the UN, experts are trying to draw some clear red lines, hard boundaries for what AI should never do. We're talking about stuff like no self-replicating, absolutely no hacking, and definitely no spitting out instructions for bioweapons or creating harmful lies about real people. Now, these sound like total no-brainers, right? But here's the kicker. A lot of the current AI models might not actually be able to guarantee they can follow those rules. So while everyone's debating where to draw the line, the biggest players in tech, they're not waiting around. They're making some massive power plays, pouring truly insane amounts of money into this AI gold rush. Let's just start with a number that's kind of hard to even wrap your head around: $100 billion. So what is that? Well, that's the potential scale of a new partnership between NVIDIA and OpenAI. You've got NVIDIA, the company making the chips that are powering this whole revolution, planning to invest up to $100 billion just to help OpenAI build the gigantic data centers needed for the next generation of AI. It's a massive bet that this AI arms race is just getting warmed up. Now, while some companies are busy building the future, others are being forced to answer for their past. The Federal Trade Commission is actually taking Amazon to trial, and they're asking a really direct question. Did Amazon trick millions and millions of people into signing up for a Prime membership? And the whole case really boils down to this idea of dark patterns. The FTC is arguing that Amazon used these really manipulative designs in their app and on their website to sort of nudge people into auto-renewing subscriptions, and then, to top it off, made it incredibly difficult to cancel. That trial's happening as we speak, and they're looking for big fines and refunds for customers. And speaking of costs going up, gamers are really feeling the pinch. Microsoft just announced their second price hike this year for Xbox consoles in the US. So a standard Xbox Series X that was already $600, yeah, that's going to be $650 now. And it's not just Microsoft. This is happening across the board, with Sony and Nintendo raising prices too. So with all this complexity and all these rising costs swirling around, it's more important than ever to know how to protect yourself. And that brings us to our final section, a little digital self-defense. And we're going to kick things off with a pretty serious alert, coming straight from the FBI. Okay, listen up, because cybercriminals have gotten so brazen. They're now creating fake websites that are perfect clones of the FBI's own crime reporting website, ic3.gov. They use these tiny misspellings or different domains to trick you into thinking you're on a safe, official site, and then they get you to hand over all your personal information. It's a really nasty scam. So what can you do? How do you stay safe? Well, the FBI's advice is actually pretty simple. First, always manually type the official address, ic3.gov, into your browser. Don't click on sponsored search results. And you've heard it before, but never ever send money or share personal info with people you've only met online. And finally, please enable two-factor authentication on everything. It is truly your single best defense out there. All right, and here's another threat that's on the rise that you might not have even heard of. Juice jacking. Sounds weird, but it's when criminals use those public USB charging ports, at the airport or a coffee shop, to load malware onto your phone or just flat out steal your data. But thankfully, there's some good news here. The latest version of iOS actually has a new defense built right in. Now, when you connect to a new accessory, your iPhone will pop up and ask you to either allow or deny data transfer. The default is deny, so it's blocked. You get the power you need, but the bad guys can't get your data. A really simple but powerful solution. So after all that, what's the bottom line? What's the big takeaway? Well, it's pretty clear we're living through this incredible period of tech acceleration. We have sleeker phones, smarter software, all this amazing stuff. But that progress is messy, right? It's creating all these new problems, from work slop in the office to juice jacking at the airport. And that really leaves us with a huge, critical question. As all this tech just keeps accelerating, who's actually responsible for pumping the brakes? Is it the companies building this stuff? Is it the governments trying to regulate it? Or is it up to us, the people actually using it, to navigate this new reality and figure out where those red lines should be drawn? Definitely something to think about. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.